Hi everyone, this is the Nordic Venture Show, your guide to the exciting world of Nordic startups and venture capital. In today's episode, we're exploring a startup called NorFalk.
Ever squeeze out some shampoo and kind of just wonder what makes it so foamy? Well, get ready, because today we're doing a deep dive into what makes those suds with this company, NorFalk.
Okay.
They're all about something they call sustainable surfactants. And honestly, I had to read that a few times, but
It's a mouthful.
it is. But it's actually pretty interesting stuff. We're talking about the future of how we get things clean, right?
Yeah, NorFalk is really coming out strong. Their website talks about disrupting this multi-billion-dollar market for things that we use every day, right? Soaps, detergents, even cosmetics.
Yeah. So are they hyping it up too much? Or is there something really there?
Well, what really caught my eye is how they're doing it. They're using biotechnology, which is essentially harnessing living organisms to make these eco-friendly ingredients.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's a huge change from how surfactants are usually made, which honestly can be pretty harsh on the environment.
Yeah, they talk a lot about soaps, detergents, cosmetics. Are those brand new markets for surfactants? Or are they kind of putting a different spin on what's already out there?
Well, surfactants are already in all those things. They're
Ah.
kind of like the unsung heroes.
Right.
Think about it. What makes the soap lather up? What helps the detergent actually lift the dirt? And that smooth, creamy texture in your lotions, that's all thanks to surfactants.
Okay, so they're already there. But Norfolk is saying, hey, we're doing it sustainably.
Exactly.
Okay, and they're really pushing that. They say by getting rid of things like palm oil and fossil fuels, which they don't use in their process, that using their ingredients could actually lower CO2 emissions and even fight deforestation for these companies.
And that's huge because palm oil, while it is cheap and effective, it often comes with this cost, right? Deforestation, especially in these really sensitive rainforest ecosystems. And obviously fossil fuel is a big contributor to greenhouse gases. So yeah, finding new ways to make these ingredients, it's really important for a more sustainable future.
So wait, are you saying that my choice of dish soap could actually help protect a rainforest somewhere?
It really shows you how interconnected all these things are.
Wow, that's a lot to take in. But can they actually pull this off? I mean, can they make it sustainable, make it work? Because they also say that they can match the price of other, premium options.
Yeah, I mean, that's the big question, right? If Norfolk can really deliver on all of it, the sustainability, the quality, all at a price that makes sense, that's game-changing because that removes a lot of the barriers that stop companies from switching over.
Right.
And it lets people choose eco-friendly options without emptying their wallets.
Okay, so we've talked about what they're promising, but I got to ask, how does it actually work? For those of us who, maybe slept through chemistry class, can you give us the simple version of how surfactants actually clean things?
Sure, it all comes down to how these molecules are structured. It's actually pretty cool. They're like double agents, right? They have two sides to them. One side loves water.
Okay.
The other side, oil and grease.
So they're like little peacemakers in your shampoo bottle.
That's a good way to put it. And this two-sided nature lets them grab onto things like dirt and oil, break them down, and then the water-loving part helps wash it all away.
Okay.
So they're cleaning and emulsifying all at the same time.
That's really cool. I mean, they get pretty specific on their website about how it works
Yeah.
in different things. So, for example, with soaps, they talk about how these surfactant molecules, they latch on to the oily dirt on your skin, and then that water-loving part just whoosh, takes it all away.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing when you think about it, like a tiny little dance happening every time you wash your hands.
That's wild.
And it's not just about being clean, right? They also play a huge role in how a product feels, the texture.
Right, like lotion. They talk about how surfactants help blend those oils and water parts to get that smooth, creamy texture that we expect.
Exactly, and without them, lotions would just separate out, and nobody wants that.
Right. It's amazing how much goes into something we just use every day without thinking about it.
Yeah.
Now, they also mention that the concentration of these surfactants, it changes depending on what the product is. So what determines how much to use?
Well, that's where it gets a little more complicated. A lot goes into it. You've got to think about how much cleaning power you need, what kind of dirt you're dealing with, even the other ingredients.
Oh, it's like a balancing act to get it just right.
Totally, yeah. Too little, and it might not clean well enough. Too much, you could end up with something that's irritating or even damaging, especially to sensitive skin.
Makes sense, makes sense. And I bet with NorFalk focusing on these, bio-based ingredients, they're probably doing a ton of research to make sure their surfactants can really compete with the traditional ones.
Oh, absolutely. They're not just swapping out ingredients. It's about the whole process. Figuring out how to make something that's both sustainable A&D really works.
Yeah.
It's a whole different way of looking at it.
And that makes sense if they want to work with, like, everyone, right? The smaller companies that are already focused on eco-friendly stuff, all the way up to the big players.
Yeah, they're casting a wide net, and it's smart because if they can offer these sustainable alternatives for so many different products, they're in a good position to be a major part of this whole shift towards more sustainable products.
And it feels like a real shift is happening, you know? Like, what does the future even hold for all this stuff, these everyday products? It seems like with companies like NorFalk getting involved, things could really change.
Oh, it's already changing. It's like this quiet revolution happening. People are more aware now of how what we buy affects the environment.
Mm-hmm.
And that means consumers are looking more closely at products. They're not just grabbing whatever's cheapest anymore. They want something that works. A&D is made ethically.
Right. It's not just about what we do at home anymore either. We're seeing governments and stuff stepping in, right?
Totally. Look at what the EU is doing with their new deforestation laws. That's huge.
Yeah.
By making these stricter rules about products linked to deforestation, it pushes companies to find alternatives.
So it's kind of like a ripple effect then. Those regulations lead to more innovation, and then hopefully eco-friendly choices become more, accessible for everyone.
Exactly. And that's what's so exciting. It's not just about swapping out one ingredient for another. We're talking about rethinking the entire system, the ingredients, the manufacturing, even how we throw these products away. It all matters.
So it's way bigger than just like making our shampoo and detergent greener, right?
Right.
It's about the entire life of a product and how it affects the planet.
Exactly. We need to move away from this take it, make it, trash its mentality and move towards a circular economy where we're using resources more carefully, and creating less waste.
That sounds like a pretty huge challenge, though.
Oh, it is. But it's also a huge opportunity. And to get there, it's going to take all of us, scientists, businesses, people making policy, even just regular consumers.
So where do we even begin with all of this? I mean, it seems kind of overwhelming.
It can be, yeah. But you don't have to solve everything at once, right?
Yeah.
Even small changes can add up. One of the best things we can do is just be informed. Read the labels, look past the marketing jargon, and pay attention to what's actually in the products you're using.
So like actually reading the back of the bottle, that can make a difference.
It really can. Look for things that say bio-based, sustainably sourced, things like that. Don't be afraid to, look up a company online, see what their deal is.
Yeah, put your money where your mouth is.
Exactly. The more demand there is for these kinds of products, the more companies are going to feel the pressure to change how they do things. Every purchase you make is like voting for the kind of future you want to see.
Wow. That's pretty powerful. I mean, we've gone from talking about like soupy bubbles to a whole vision of a greener future, and it all comes down to these little surfactants. Who knew?
Right. It just goes to show you, even the most ordinary things, the stuff we use every day, it's all connected to these bigger issues. And once you understand those connections, you can start making choices that are better for you and for the planet.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Seriously, thank you so much for coming on and sharing all this. It's been eye-opening, to say the least.
Happy to do it. Always love a chance to geek out about the science behind everyday stuff.
And to everyone listening, next time you're washing your hands, doing the dishes, even putting on some lotion, think about those surfactants working their magic. And thanks to companies like NorFalk, we have a chance to make sure that clean feeling doesn't come at a cost to the planet. So take a look at the ingredients. What kind of future are you voting for?
Thanks for listening to the Nordic Venture Show. Don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned for more stories of innovation from the Nordics.